strugglers, welcome to my trading recap. So for this video I figured I would do a weekly recap instead of daily recaps because now my trades are usually swing trades, so they take a long time to play out. So I just told myself, you know what, let me just regroup all the trades that I took on the week and just make one video on them. And so yeah, so this is the trade recaps for the trades I made last week. So starting off with GBP CAD. So this trade was taken last Tuesday, I think. Yeah, last Tuesday. Or no, Wednesday, sorry. And that's because we had GBP and CAD news right there, so I was looking at it. And so yeah, coming into that day, I saw that we had this daily bullish reversal gap right here. And so we actually traded into it right there, and we had a reaction out of it on the 1 hour. And so yeah, I came on the charts Tuesday, no, Wednesday, sorry again, and yes, right there. So coming into Wednesday, I could see that we had a nice reaction of the bullish daily fair value gap. We were disrespecting this bearish daily fair value gap. And I remember I entered actually Tuesday night before going to sleep, right around here, because we were respecting this 1 hour bullish reversal gap right there. So I was like, this is perfectly my setup. I'm happy to take this before going to sleep. And so I entered around here, targeting I think a 1 to 2. Usually targeting this high, but figured if we take out this high, we'll be at break even. And so now, when I woke up in the morning at I think 7 a.m., the thing is that we were actually reacting off of this 1 hour fair value gap right there. We even created another bearish small fair value gap, but this for me was just sign that price might reverse. And so I was around break even at that moment of time in the morning, and so I decided to just close the trade and wait for more confirmation. Since I was at break even and I didn't lose anything if I closed the trade, I wanted more confirmation at the time. And so yes, so I actually just waited a little bit more, and basically I just wanted reaction up. I didn't want to see these 1 hour fair value gaps being respected, and so I marked out this candle, or I don't even know, I just want a reaction up. I just want to see price go up, so I was just marking out this line right here for price to just go up. And once I actually saw this candle right here where we disrespected this 1 hour fair value gap, I was like, okay, now this is perfect to push higher. We have no resistance left, right? We have these high that confirmed to be taken, not confirmed, but most likely to be taken out, right? So I enter right here, put my stop loss in this low. Now this was my mistake. My stop loss was just too tight because I wanted a 1 to 2 right there, and I figured, okay, with a 1 to 2 my stop loss would be right here. And I honestly should have put just my stop loss in this low. This is a low that is protected, and just go for the 1 to 2. But yeah, I just wanted to target this high, and so my stop loss was put right there. And so I got stopped out by this wick right here. And I think there that day we ended up consolidating, but I think the next day we actually went higher with a huge reaction. I don't even know what was the cause of this wick. I think because of the tariffs with CADs, or I don't even know. But yes, unfortunately I lost that trade because of my stop loss was too tight. I should have put it right here in this candle. But the thing that I'm more not mad but disappointed in myself is that I mentioned that I closed the trade right at break even, and I remember that I closed that trade while in bed. And this is one of the things that I push myself to not do, is to just open the charts on my bed. And because when I do that, I just have these irrational thinking. I don't know how to explain it, but I will take like impulse decisions, right? So for example, when I woke up, I just took my phone and went into the charts and saw that I was at break even, and I just decided to close the trade, right? However, if I had just woken up like normal and did my routine and came into the charts, maybe my mind would have been more clear and I would have thought of just holding the trade and accepting the risk that I was putting, if that makes sense. So this is something that I'm really struggling with. I sleep so late and I just wake up in the morning so tired, and I just want to see where my trade is at, and so I open the phone. When my brain wakes up, I just open my phone and see where the trade is at, and this is just the biggest thing that I need to avoid to do. And so this is one thing that I'm working on right now, and I need to stop doing that. I need to sleep early and just focus on doing my morning routine, because that loss could have been avoided. I'm sure if I had just woken up early, did my routine, maybe I wouldn't have made that decision of closing the trade at break even. Now, I agree that there were resistance right here, and so it kind of makes sense for me to close the trade and wait for more confirmation, but I don't know if it's something that I need to work on. I need to sleep early and wake up earlier. On CAD CHF, I took it on Thursday, I think, mainly because we had news for CAD throughout the whole week, so I was mainly looking at CAD pairs. And so yeah, looking at the weekly chart, I could see that we were failing to go higher off this bullish weekly fair value gap. And so if we fail to go higher, I'm looking more into bearish price action. And so mainly because we can see here last week we came into the weekly bullish fair value gap, went up, but then failed to go higher. And so I'm looking for lower prices. And so I could see that we had formed a bearish daily fair value gap, sorry. And so yes, we came into it on Thursday, and so going from this bearish daily fair value gap, I was targeting this swing low right here, so from internal to external liquidity. And once we went into the bearish daily fair value gap, once we were in the bearish daily fair value gap, I could see that we had this 1 hour fair value gap being respected and going into the bearish daily fair value gap, and after that we're sweeping these highs right there, going lower with this 1 hour fair value gap. And this is basically my entry model, so a 1 hour ST, one fair value gap in, one fair value gap out. I took a short right here, covering this high for a 1 to 2 right here, but price ended up showing my stop loss. And so yes, I think my main mistake was that we had too much momentum coming into that bearish daily fair value gap. And when we have too much momentum, and what I mean by that actually is that this bearish daily fair value gap, if we're gonna be honest, it's pretty ugly. It's pretty, I don't know, it's coming off first of all from this previous weekly low, and so this is actually resistance, right? It's not a fair value gap that's right here overlapping with this, meaning that we're running this liquidity. We're basically sweeping this liquidity, which is the previous week's low. And so we have a lot of momentum going higher. We have these fair value gaps, this 4 hour going higher. And so I think I should have just not taken this trade, mainly also because I took this on Thursday, and actually Thursday we had no CAD news. So I should have just waited for Friday, right? And if I had waited for Friday, price did actually end up hitting my take profit right there with this wick. So I was just way too early. But even if I was early, honestly, looking back at it, I don't know, it's not clean price action. This fair value gap, I don't know, it's too messy. I should have waited for a cleaner price action. And on gold, and this one I think I took Wednesday, but it ended at Thursday after the CAD CHF trade. So like I mentioned in the previous video, we were coming off this monthly fair value gap, and we had such a clean price action on the daily time frame with these fair value gaps holding, right? And so what I was actually looking at on Wednesday was that we respected this bullish daily fair value gap. We came into this swing high, and we had signs of running this liquidity, this swing high, and potentially make another daily bullish fair value gap. However, instead we actually failed to create it, right? So instead of having a daily bullish candle right there, where we could have had the fair value gap. We actually went down and had some bearish price action for the first half of the week, and we actually had this, for example, this 4-hour fair value gap, which was actually a really nice short to target this swing low, because we failed to create that bullish daily fair value gap, and it was actually a sign that we were sweeping this high right there. And so after seeing that, I was still bullish overall. I'm waiting for buys because it's such a clean price action to go higher and target this monthly high right there. And so my bias was to just swing this low right now, disrespect this bearish 4-hour fair value gap. And as soon as we did that right there, as soon as I saw that price was disrespecting this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, I went for a 1 to 2 right there, and price did end up, no, we actually went to drawdown for the first day, and we respected this 4-hour fair value gap. And honestly, looking back at it, after respecting it, I could have gotten another entry to push higher and add to my winner, but I think I was sleeping at that time, and price did end up hitting TP, and it was actually a perfect trade. This perfectly respect my plan. And so yeah, on to the next one, AUD CAD. And so I could see that we're respecting this bearish daily fair value gap, and coming into Friday morning, well, I could see that we had formed a 4-hour bearish fair value gap, but we didn't trade into it, right? So we actually went higher right there. And so coming off of that bearish daily fair value gap, I was looking at lower prices, and I could see that this 1 hour was being disrespected, and we actually formed a bearish 1 hour fair value gap right here, right there, small little one right there. And so I was looking at targeting this 4-hour fair value gap that was unmitigated, to potentially even go lower to target these equal lows to respect the bearish daily fair value gap. And so I took a short right there, covering this high for a usual 1 to 2, but price did end up hitting my stop loss. Why I lost this trade, and the reason why is because I'm trading against the CAD, right? And if we look at simply just the CAD index, right, it's so bearish these last couple of weeks. It's insane. I actually live in Canada, and the economy here is so bad. Just the index of the CAD is going lower and lower every single day. We are so bearish, and coming into that day, we actually had a bearish for our fair value gap. So I have a bearish bias, right? But I didn't look at the index, and this is something that I continuously make mistake on, is that I do not correlate enough the pairs that I'm trading. And so I'm trying to correct that mistake. And yes, we were trading off of this bearish 4-hour fair value gap. At that moment of time, we even created another bearish 1-hour fair value gap. And so all this to say that it doesn't make sense for me to short a pair against the CAD that is so weak, right? So I should have had a bullish bias. And even though AUD CAD showed me that we might be bearish, I should have looked into other CAD pairs that match the charts on the CAD index, right? And so yes, that's my mistake on this trade. And so yeah, I really need to correlate my pairs more often and look at the indexes. And actually I even put them all right there so I can look at them every single time I make a trade on the crosses, because honestly I take so many losses on the crosses recently, and it's mainly because of timing and not correlating my pair enough with the indexes. And so yeah. So this marks the end of this episode, and honestly, if I had to take something from my performance from last week, is that first of all, I need to correlate my pairs. This is directly going into my trading plan, and I'm reinforcing it more every time I take a trade, is that I need to correlate with the indexes. If I take a trade with CAD because it has CAD news, I need to look at the CAD index, right, and know my bias on that chart. and directly correlated with the pair that I'm trading. And also, another big mistake that I'm doing every time is that I wake up too late. I'm struggling a lot to do my morning routine, and honestly, looking back, it's honestly because I'm trying to do everything at the same time. So what I mean by that is that I want to go to the gym, I have school, I have work, and I want to do all these things at the same time. And it's honestly hard to manage everything. I also have a girlfriend that I need to see, and so just all of everything all together leads to me sleeping so late, and I need to wake up early, and my body simply cannot. Even though I'm so tired when I wake up in the morning, yeah, that's when discipline comes in, and I don't know. I need to put in my trading plan that if I'm not able to wake up in the morning, and that's okay. Like, I'm not a machine where I can just wake up every single morning at 6 a.m. when I sleep at like 2 a.m. It's hard. It's really hard, and I just need to put in my trading plan as a rule that if I cannot wake up, I need to simply let the morning session go and just sleep. Honestly, because when I wake up, for example, late into the session, I have this feeling of FOMO that, oh my god, I'm missing something on the charts and I need to look at it. And that's when I actually take my phone and open the charts right after I'm waking up. And this is probably the worst thing that I can do. And so yeah, I need to put a rule on my trading plan that if I wake up later, I don't wake up like early at 6:30 a.m. where I usually do my morning routine. I need to just sleep and not look at the charts. Or I can either do that or simply wake up later, for example at 8 a.m., and just accept what the charts offer me at the time. And it's okay if I miss something. Like, it's okay, I'm a human. Sometimes I need to sleep, right? But I need to make sure that I do my morning routine before coming into the charts and not just open my phone right after waking up. That leads to me making dumb decisions every single time. But yes, this marks the end of the video, and I'll see you strugglers at the next one.